Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. It is another glorious Sunday morning. Views and Views, Week 9 live on the scene, presented by Views from the 22. Mo Schefter here. Is something wrong with my voice?
Oh, you're doing great.
Oh, I don't know why he banged on the microphone like he couldn't hear me.
I was.
It was like Omaha. I wasn't sure.
But
Mo
Hey,
Schefter
John's
here.
about to take flight. You see how the headset going? He's about to take flight. He's ready.
Yeah. Jared's like testing 1, 2.
He's ready.
Mo Schefter here, Vic Jr. on the line, MJ in the building, and of course, Germ So True in the building. Talk to the people, True. How we feeling today?
Listen, most of Germans here. I've already had at least one. That's all I'm gonna say. It's time to get the views and mixing with some dudes, baby. Switch your highs, baby. Let's go.
Hilarious.
MJ, man, go ahead. Drop the
sharing
J.
the links, yo.
Fade away perfect. Let's go.
Man, you already know what it is, man. If content was king, you were looking at royalty, man. And when you pull it up to the scene, we're going to give you what you need. Views and dues, you know how we bring it. Sponsors, let's get the politics out the way. This is brought to you by Monkey Knife Fights. Go ahead, go to Monkey Knife Fights. Tell them the scene sent you. Put the scene in the promo code. They'll match you up to $100. This is also brought to you by JW Capital Solutions, who successfully gave away their first free trip to Vegas for rocking with us. There will be more to come and more gifts to come because we're in a very charitable mood. So for the people who like listening to real sports without all of the hoopla and all of that other messy reality TV garbage, you can double dip. Not only can you get that good game, but you also could be able to win some money on the gambling tip and even win a free trip. I don't know how else we can give it to you. So if you ain't on, you lacking. Let me go ahead and swing that over to Vic. Vic, what it do, man?
Like Mo likes to say, I'm in an undisclosed location. The hamster on the wheel over here on this, on this modem might be a little bit slower than the one at my house. You know what I mean? So just in case, I might have some delays. It might look like I'm frozen. Just letting y'all know ahead of time. This hamster is a little skinnier than the stronger one at home. So, you know what I mean?
Hey, what's your safe word?
I'm ready.
What's your safe word? Okay, if I see that, I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
Do that and I'm calling the police. For real, because I don't know where you at right now.
Put your location.
If I make a movement that doesn't look normal,
hey, you look at real 50 Shades of Grayish right now, bro.
That man in the dungeon.
Yeah,
he's in the playroom.
Oh my God, bro.
Week 9, man. We halfway through this. It's crazy.
You already know what it is, man. Bo, man, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's get to it. So off the bat, let's talk about some major inactives. Tua Tagovailoa is out for the Miami Dolphins. Jacoby Brissett was going to get the start. Dawson Knox, tight end for the Bills, out for like the third week in a row. Blake Jarwin, tight end for the Cowboys, he's out. Devontae Parker for the Dolphins, he's been dealing with some nagging injuries. Feels like his whole career, really. He's out. Saquon Barkley, another one who just can't seem to be healthy, and we just go back to a few years ago. Whatever. We're going to stay on the positive energy today. Sterling Shepard, he's inactive. AJ Green is inactive. Aaron Rodgers is inactive, obviously, due to that COVID thing. And Derrick Henry, he's out. Now, we didn't really have a pregame show this week. So I don't know if the fellas want to talk about the Aaron Rodgers thing or not. I'm not here to I always acknowledge you, True. You my brother. Listen, we are not here to discuss COVID. We are not here to discuss conspiracy theories. We are not here to discuss whether you want to be vaccinated or not. But to me, I never thought the word Aaron Rodgers and clown would be associated with the same sentence. And he just looked like an absolute, not in that way. Not in a way where like, yo, are you an idiot?
But have you never noticed that he's always had like ringlings and barning, like the that type of vibe? He's never had the He never heard that music when he was talking before. I did. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I hear voices like Randy Orton. I don't know.
I think he's getting ready to run for president.
He might be.
I mean, and then ever since I seen the little ponytail, any man that got a little ponytail, I'm a little nervous about them people. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
That's a good story. That's a true story.
Like I said, so here, because the Indian name would be something that'd be little ponytail. So with that being said, I'm sitting here and I'm just a little confused about certain things. Number one, the whole booster situation, it's cool. I get it, whatever. But a lot of people have given Aaron Rodgers a pass about a lot of things in his career. The lack of production in big game situations, the lack of Super Bowl championships with always having a talented roster, the lack of a lot of things. So it's like he's gotten a pass his entire career to me. I don't give anybody a pass because I didn't get a pass about when certain things have happened to me. So I've had to fight for different things. I've had to continue to grind. So all I'm trying to say is I'm trying to say that this man has had the opportunity to come out and right his wrongs. He's had opportunities to come back and honestly do the right thing and tell the truth. And instead of telling the truth in this situation and just saying, yo, this is what happened, it kind of feels like he's kind of backpedaling. It sounds like he's parked on dumb, stuck on stupid, and he just can't find reverse. So with that being said, I just think that, the transmission of this situation to me just sounds like a person who doesn't want to take accountability. And that is the one word that kind of signifies his entire career, lack of accountability.
We've been talking about it forever.
It's just to me that Mo, I don't think you'll disagree with that word. And like, do you believe in a parallel universe? No. I do.
I don't.
Exactly.
Right. I don't know, man. Go ahead, Vic.
I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, bro. To be honest with you, again, I've questioned his leadership. I've questioned his intangibles. I question his preparation. People talk about he is one of those prepared guys. To me, this is an example of somebody that's just not prepared, for life. So what do I expect? What do I expect him to be prepared to lead a football team? Just again, we talked about this for so many years, and now it's coming out to light. I mean, we see things before it happens. So, I ain't trying to call us the god of this, of the sport or anything like that. But we students, I like to study people's body languages, and the human element. I understand how important it is, So and people just ignore the human element of sports. Period. And Aaron Rodgers is just that kind of dude that I don't want you on my football team, man. This kind of stuff got Cam Newton cut. And I'm not trying to compare the talents, but when you put the intangibles together, when you put the personality together, it almost like equals the, it makes the talent gap shorter between the two, right? So if Rodgers is here, Cam is down here in talent, but now who's a better leader? Who has the intangibles? I'll give it to Cam. So Packers should say bye, period. Yeah. Bye.
No, I mean, listen. MJ, go ahead. MJ, go ahead.
Do you really want me to go ahead?
Yes, I do.
When I asked the question twice.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So y'all get y'all screen records ready. Provocative white men, black men who follow orders, soft-spoken black women, and promiscuous white women. What they have in common, all of them get a pass from the media. No matter what they do, they will get a pass. The provocative, outspoken asshole white guy has been getting passes for years because the media looks up to them and wants to be like them.
If you're a battle rap fan, MJ is getting up.
Let me cook.
He talking.
The black dude that follows orders always gets a pass from the media because they fear a black man that speaks out that they can't control. An outspoken black woman always gets fear from the media. So the soft-spoken black woman, they love. The promiscuous white woman feeds into the whole women empowerment that they want to portray. So they allow them to be great as well. That's the common denominator. So we're not talking about COVID here. We're not talking about COVID. We never talked about police brutality. We ain't talking about none of this shit. What we really talking about is the fact that these 4 people will always get a pass when it comes to the media. And they can get away with murder as long as they stay in this lane. And I'm done with it.
There's no reason for me to add anything else to that.
3-0.
That is a perspective that if you're not understanding, escape your bubble. And we're going to leave it at that. That's not what I was expecting. But
that's 3-0, and Mo is smacked with the beer, and he called it. He called it.
I asked y'all if you can do it. I asked y'all twice. If y'all want
he got a gun so big. Hey, and another cut. And another cut. It looks like the seatbelt won't buckle up.
Bro. All right, shout out to everybody in the comment section, man. We wanted to just start with a couple things here and there. Let's get to these games. Storm's in there, Dion in there, Jay in there, Big Shot in there, and of course the First Lady, as always, front and center. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. Let's get into these games, and we are going to start with a pretty big game early here in the 1 o'clock slot. Matter of fact, we got a couple big games in the 1 o'clock slot. So let's start with the first one. You got purple versus purple. You got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Baltimore Ravens. The 50.5 is the over/under, and Minnesota are 6-point underdogs in this game. Sammy Watkins is questionable with a hamstring for the 9th year in a row. I don't think he's going to play. Rashawn Bateman, he should be playing. He's questionable as well with a groin injury, but it is trending up for him to play. Brandon Williams, a big D tackle, he's questionable. He was limited on Friday, so he's trending in the right direction. He should be able to go. He's got like a nagging little elbow injury, but we'll see what happens there. Latavius Murray's questionable as well for the Vikings. Michael Pierce, the former Ravens defensive lineman, he's out in this one. Anthony Barr with a knee is questionable, and Cam Dantzler with an ankle is out. I'm sorry, Barr is out as well. So all 3 of those guys are out for Minnesota. Vic, let's start with you, man. We haven't seen the Ravens since they got their ass beat, basically, excuse the French, by the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the final score was like 41-17. It's been a 2-week bye for them right now. We haven't seen them in 2 weeks. John Harbaugh is quite successful coming off a bye. We know Minnesota is going to be a team that challenges anybody. What are you expecting in this game?
You're on mute, fam. You're on mute.
My bad. Real quick on the injury situation, like you mentioned, Murray was questioned. Oh, last time I heard, he was doubtful. So Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell might get most of those carries for anybody that might be scrapping from running backs on the free fantasy football situation. One interesting stat from Next Gen, Mo, is Marlon Humphrey gave up 227 yards in coverage. The last game against the Bengals as the closest defender. So let's see, today, is he gonna bounce back against, the Justin Jeffersons and the Adam Thielen matchups today? They did the Vikings did come off of a bad game against the Cowboys offensively. But I think that they do bounce back. This Ravens secondary is just a lot more questionable right now than the Cowboys. So I think that the Vikings will be able to pass a lot more. So definitely plug in those guys on your fantasy lineups for sure. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings in this game. I just think that they'll do enough defensively, especially with that speed at linebacker, to kind of contain Lamar. Can't really stop him, but can you contain him in the passing game in between the hash marks? And again, like I said, that secondary for them is not looking very good with those 2 Pro Bowl corners.
You talking about Baltimore secondary?
Baltimore secondary, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Germ?
Here's the thing. I know, Jamar gave them headaches. Odell Landry just did whatever he wanted to do.
He gave Humphrey headaches, bro.
So I mean, and look, but I mean, it didn't matter who he lined up against. I mean, Humphrey can try to travel all he want. Like it doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna get work this week. And look, the lineman be looking for work. Marlon Humphrey be looking for work too, but he be looking to get his ass kicked a lot because it's getting ready to happen tonight. So the thing is, you know what I'm saying? We got a Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Then we got his cousins. If y'all afraid, you know, those who know music understand Rockwell was Michael Jackson's cousin. So today, Lamar Jackson is going to feel like somebody's watching him with Anthony Barr. And we always going to have my guy, Eric Kendricks, one of the most underrated linebackers in the National Football League. That combination is lethal. Then we got another guy named Harrison Smith, one of the only white safeties that we have in the NFL, and that's a cold boy. That's a nice player right there. So I look for this Vikings team today. They should have the pieces to make this an interesting game defensively against the Ravens. Danielle Hunter, the cyborg, is on this defense. Everson Griffin, me and Mo Schefter talk about it. He looks like he's revived playing back in this Vikings defense. It looks like Everson Griffin all over again. You bring in the interior lineman and the interior presence. This is the Michael Pierce. Oh, you released me game? Okay, so I'm going to show you why you shouldn't have released me. It's
He's
just
out,
that
though.
simple. He is?
Yeah, he is. Matter of fact, just a quick update, Jerm, because they're starting to come in now. Michael Pierce is inactive, but Anthony Barr and Cam Dancer will be playing. And then for the Ravens, Sammy, Latavius Murray, and Brandon Williams are inactive. And also Harrison Smith was placed on the COVID-19 list.
Got you. So
Yep.
that means that we have a situation today where in the secondary, the glue guy is not going to be there. If you want to make this an interesting game, Lamar has to push the ball down the field. We need him to push the ball down the field. So this is where you can show some of those improvements as a passer. Really simply put, the Vikings and the Ravens match up very well on paper. The key differences on offense, Dalvin Cook, and then we got Lamar Jackson. It's just really that simple. Lamar, this is your way, this is your week to show that you can take this team, you can take it over, put it on your back, and make some things happen. I don't have a pick yet because in my mind, I can see this game going three ways. Way one is I can see the Vikings winning this game on a last-second field goal or losing it on a last-second field goal. But then the third way I see it, I see the Ravens that could potentially dominate the game, especially in the trenches. Because of that, it makes it one of those situations where it's hard to pick because any given Sunday, shouts out to Willie Beeman, a.k.a. Jamie Foxx, because you know you got to pay some dues, especially when it comes to the views. Give me the Baltimore Ravens today.
Okay.
Objective views, we got to start with the fact the one thing that is the most consistent is the Ravens in the trenches. That's more consistent than my cousin. That's more consistent than anything else. Give me the Ravens 24-17. And I just think overall that this should be a good game. But I think that the trenches will be the difference in the game. Give me the Ravens. Mo, thank you, because I was going to pick the Vikings low-key in a way until we said Harrison was gone. No free safety.
I mean,
No free safety. No pressure on Lamar, actually.
MJ, give us your thoughts. Right.
So I can't lie. You know, this podcast thing, you know, is something that I'm starting to take serious now. So I'm going to work on my right hand now, and I'm going to be more efficient when I go ahead and speak. So the Ravens is the home team. The Vikings is a dome team that is inconsistent and has been the biggest teams in football. All of that leads to a Ravens blowout for me. Give me the Ravens.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. I think the Ravens are a hard team to pick against in the regular season. They got a good team. They got good depth. They got good coaching. I do think it's going to be a competitive game. I'd like Vic's point about the Vikings passing attack should have some success against this Ravens secondary. But I also think this Ravens defense is going to have some decent success with pressuring. And then without some of their key guys, I just don't see Minnesota having enough to pull this game out through 60 minutes. So give me Baltimore 27-24. Vic?
I'll take the Vikings still. I mean, I think they'll do enough with the 3 linebackers. I'll just take them. I hate the predicting the scores. I'm taking the Vikings on this game though.
Okay. No, you got it.
Yeah, real quick. James Robinson is also out for this game, so any changes you need to make for your lineup as well. But we'll get to that game soon. But James Robinson is out as well now.
Appreciate that, Vic.
Next game
That's a
on the
big running
docket.
back, so you know.
Yeah. You got the Patriots
go ahead.
versus the Panthers. No, you good. You got the Patriots versus the Panthers. 41.5 is the over-under in this game. The Patriots are 3-point favorites on the road. Sam Darnold is starting. So is Christian McCaffrey, but he is probably going to be on a pitch count. Guard Pat Elflein was trending in the right direction, but he is now inactive. The Patriots have literally 14 people listed as questionable, but that's New England for you every week. Matter of fact, it just came down. So for New England, the inactives are N'Keal Harry, Sean Wade, the corner, Devin Asiasi, the defensive end, and then you got a couple linemen in there and running back J.J. Taylor, but their key guys are playing, so nobody really major missing for New England in this one. I'm going to just start this off, fellas. I think we look at New England, they feel like they are a surging football team, while as the Carolina Panthers seem like a team that's still trying to figure some things out. You look at New England, they've been converting much better on third down as the season has progressed. The defensive line is surging. The secondary is making plays. J.C. Jackson is a number 1 corner, like a true number 1 corner. The Patriots are surging and trending in the right direction, and I am going to stick with what I said last week, that I think the Patriots will indeed make the playoffs. I think the number 1 thing for them in this game is they got to come out run heavy early downs. I mean, they got to establish that they are willing to run the football no matter what, so that they can open up some of that play action stuff that they have been doing with success with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is still growing. He's still improving, but there is a solid foundation there. And I think when you look at the Panthers, a team that's still trying to figure it out, a team still going through that football maturity, a team dealing with injuries, a team with a very, very young defense and still trying to put all those pieces together that they just acquired. I think this is a recipe for a really big win for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. It's hard not to be a fan of the way New England plays football. It's hard not to be a fan of the way Bill Belichick coaches his football team and the way they execute. So I'm going with New England to win this game 23-19. Jerm?
Listen, anytime you got a quarterback named Mac, it normally means somebody's getting ready to do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And what Mac has to do is Mac likes to spread his love around, kind of like Mary Jane. So I like the way that Mac Jones is playing right now. I really want to get on a high horse a little bit right now, fellas. So just ride with me in the chariot that I'm providing. We told y'all about Mac Jones. We told y'all about this dude. We said that he was elite in a lot of special areas, which one of them was mental toughness. And look where he is right now. The man got another man cut because he plays so well. Then we told you that New England's defense was going to be elite because they were going to have the pieces to make this very, very, very emotional for a lot of people. They get good pressure now. Judon, listen, I never thought I would say this, but Mo, me and you can talk about this as two equals because that's my brother right there. Did we expect Judon to play at this level with Bill? No, but we expected him to be good. I didn't expect him to be, bro. He's playing like a tier 1 pass rusher.
He's playing great. He's playing great.
Like when we talk about setting the edge, we're talking setting the edge in the running game at a high clip. We're talking getting pressure and backside pressure at a high clip. We're talking all of the things that make elite pass rushers go. I mean, it's like he's doing a judo flip every time the linemen are trying to do any type of blocking on him. I mean, the man is in here literally doing jiu-jitsu. It is what it is. I got to tell you, J.C. Jackson, Mo will tell you, I've been talking about J.C. Jackson since the practice squad for New England. that player made Stephon Gilmore expendable because you had a younger player at a premium position that is not even reaching his peak yet. And he's playing at a very high level. Man, it is hard. The one thing New England can do is they can take away two things from Carolina, which takes Carolina out of the game completely. You can take away DJ Moore because you have the ability to have a nickel back in Jalen Mills who can now play his role and strictly focus on taking away short and intermediate things that DJ Moore is going to run. And then you got a guy on the outside who can cover him wherever he goes in JC Jackson. This is a really easy game to pick for me. New England is going to smash them. For my Temptation fans, a guaranteed smash. This is Germ's guaranteed smash of the week. The Panthers will not score more than 16 points. Write it down. Let's go, Bill. Let's get over 500. Mo said something last week. I'm rooting for his prediction that if the Patriots win last week, they make the playoffs. Here's a step in that direction. 5-4 Patriots after today. Acknowledge me. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, Mo talked about how great Bill has this defense and this team playing. I give him credit for that. As a GM, though, he's kind of mediocre. Protecting Mac Jones right now, Mr. Michael McCorkle. Okay, that we talked. I don't need to elaborate more on how much we talked about how good he is. Not exactly protecting him right now. Kind of like how Tom wasn't protected much towards the end of his Patriots career. Isaiah Wynn, anybody? But
Damn.
they're running the football. They're running the football very well, and they're gonna have to keep doing that today against the Panthers. Stephon Gilmore is gonna be looking for an interception. He's gonna be looking to make a play that's gonna change that game. And I hope they protect Mac a little bit, in which they run the football and then give him his selective throws that plays to make downfield. PJ Williams, whether it's PJ Williams or Sam Darnold these days, I don't even know, Mo. You're going to have to defend your guy because I think even PJ Williams probably gives him a better chance to win a football game.
But
PJ Walker. PJ Walker, my bad.
Listen.
It's kind of tough,
That's a little too much of a stretch there.
Hey, everybody fold their arms to look at Mo while he talks about Sam Darnold.
I ain't going to talk about him, but you're not going to say that PJ Walker gives him a better chance to win than Sam Darnold. I just think, hey, I'm gonna shut up, but eventually Sam Darnold and the Panthers gonna get right. So, you wait. He who laughs last.
It ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be this week though. It ain't gonna be.
I know this.
Okay, you said
it ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be this lifetime.
I have acknowledged this since that acknowledgement seems to be the theme. But MJ, listen, one thing ain't no denying is only acknowledging your intelligence. So go ahead, give us a breakdown of this game.
No, not a problem. So with Bill Belichick, I feel like this is the most fun he has had coaching in his lifetime because he's in a perfect balance of having a young team that has to listen to him, in addition to the fact that the expectations are low to where no matter what he does, he's in a no-lose situation. So now, any dude that is as brilliant or as genius as Bill Belichick, everything goes back to the purity of what it is. And the purity of Bill Belichick is coaching football. You guys talked about Matt Judon. I envision him just sitting Matt Judon down before the season and playing Lawrence Taylor clips over and over and over and saying, you know what? I don't know if you're going to end up being as good as Lawrence Taylor, but you got the same damn attributes. And if you just listen to me and pay attention to these details, you can have the same impact on this team. And that's what makes Bill Belichick what he is, as opposed to all the other coaches. That's why no matter what, y'all want to get rid of him, he's always going to remain relevant if he has the pieces that he needs. It's that. With all of that being said, Carolina with Sam Darnold, I always give my quarterbacks a 6-year window because 6 to 7 years is when they finally seen every defense that you could possibly throw at them. They've seen every coverage. They've seen every style of cornerback or safety or blitz package to where they can get comfortable and the game slows down for them. And hopefully by the 6-7 years, if they're at the right team, they have the pieces that they need to be the best version of themselves. Sam Darnold is in year 4. I got patience with it.
I feel you.
I don't know. I just have patience with all quarterbacks like this. I give all quarterbacks the 6-7 year period because they remind me of point guards. Like, unless you're just going to put them in a easy package in which their reads are easy, it's just going to take time for them to really understand this game. Unless they were in a Pat Mahomes situation in which you got everything early at your rookie, the sophomore year. Like, he had the perfect coach, he had the perfect weapons. Like, when you have that, all you got to do is just manage the game, and that's much easier than to be able to impact the game.
Yeah, fair.
So that's why, even while everybody's talking shit about Pat Mahomes, I'm just like, no, this is actually his rookie season right now, because this is the first time he don't have everything he needs. Yeah. But we'll talk about the Chiefs later. But
we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, but
we're gonna get to that. I got some stuff for y'all. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm gonna pick the Patriots because I think Bill is having fun coaching this team because for the first time in probably about 20 years, he doesn't have any expectations right now.
Yeah. I think all great points, MJ. The one thing that I forgot to mention, the biggest reason I'm taking the Patriots today, Bill Belichick is not losing to a Jets quarterback, period. There is nobody who hates anybody more than Bill Belichick hates the New York Jets. And there is no way Sam Darnold is beating him today. Jeremy, you want me to keep going or you want to get to whatever you want to get to?
No, when we get to the Chiefs game,
I got you.
I'll talk about it. When we get to the Browns game, I'll talk about it.
Well,
listen, I'm getting ready to rap today. So I need everybody to
ready. Hey, hold up. Before you rap, let me rap about this comment section because I actually got 2 computers speaking right now. Shouts out to everybody in the comments. I'm not going to drop names. I don't want nobody to get Hey, real shit, we love y'all because y'all keep us going. If y'all ain't giving us these comments that we can be able to feed off of, this is giving us more energy to be able to give y'all what y'all need. So even though we don't acknowledge that much because we have so much to cover on Sundays, just know that if you ain't heard it from none of them, I'm giving y'all flowers right now. We love y'all. Keep commenting. We will get to y'all when we can. If we don't, just understand that we see y'all and we appreciate y'all. So now we'll give it over to Mo.
Shout out to J Ham always with the Nick slander. Germ, ask and you shall receive, my illustrious brother. You got the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. 47.5 as an over-under. The Bengals, despite that shameful, embarrassing loss to the New York Spirit Airlines, come in as 1.5-point favorites. Jack Conklin is out for the Cleveland Browns. But the good news for the Browns, Harrison Bryant, he will play. Jadeveon Clowney, he will play. Denzel Ward, he will play. J.C. Treader, he will play. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he will play. Jedrick Wills, he will play. So the only one really missing is what's his name? What I just say his name is Jack Conklin, and obviously Odell Beckham Jr. As for the Bengals, Fred Johnson, Vernon Hargraves, Auden Tate, and Cam Sample, the defensive end, are out for this game, but the Bengals are fairly healthy. Pretty healthy. They got their center. He should be good to go in this game as well. Germ, you can have the floor, sir.
Smack, is you ready?
Ready.
Vic, is you ready? MJ, is you ready?
No, that.
Snow that. It's getting ready to go down. All right, first of all, let's start at the top. Odell and Baker, because we got to put them together. I mean, we got Baker. You know what I'm saying? Normally he's a baker because he's not a fry cook. At the end of the day, when it comes to cooking and Baker being not a fry cook, what I mean by that, a lot of things about being a fry cook mean that you have to potentially make things happen on the fly because you never know if the grease level, the grease could drop, the grease could pop. It could be a lot of things that can happen. So what happens in these situations is We got a guy in Odell who I've been seeing get defended by so many people, but I've seen Baker get defended by so many people. So I'm going to defend both of them, and then I'm going to criticize both of them because that's just how damn good I am at this shit. Let's go. Baker, number one, throwing from separate platforms. Baker, you are 6 feet tall. Bro, stop doing it. You look like a man standing in the middle of New York City skyscrapers. You look small. That's the reason why we're having problems, because you can't see over the linemen. That's pretty much what the problem is with all of these small quarterbacks. Either we need to be in the pistol formation and we need to drop back a couple extra steps to be able to see some things, which, Vic, that hurts what? The tackles. And that is a strong point of this Cleveland team, the tackles, which is why he's trying to play in the pocket. So I'm going to defend him with that and say he's trying to play the right way. The problem here is, though, he can't play the right way when you got an explosive weapon like that, because it doesn't work that way in this situation for a small quarterback. This is not DeAndre Hopkins. This is not AJ Green. These are not big body guys that win their matchup with physicality and can you win with their hands. Odell wins with his feet. Odell wins with certain subtle movements. That's the difference here with these type of guys. So a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones is actually a primetime target for Baker Mayfield, and he should be playing more snaps in the first place. And at the beginning of the season, I said Odell should be your flanker and Donovan Peoples-Jones should be your X, and you should rotate Odell and Jarvis in the slot. I said this at the beginning of the year because it changes the entire complexion of Cleveland's passing game when you got a dominant number 1, 6'2" guy who can beat any press. Changes everything. So now let's defend Odell. Odell's head movement, elite. Odell's feet, elite. Odell's route running, B. Why is it a B? Because he doesn't fully understand how to settle down in situations. We've seen situations that he does settle down sometimes, and he does understand leverage of DBs. We are seeing that. But the other problem with understanding leverage is understanding where your quarterback likes to throw the ball. Baker, for whatever reason, throws the ball a little bit more toward the sideline than he's naturally accustomed to, meaning that the inside of the field going toward the hash marks is where he's normally expecting to get some of these targets. So you see that the synergy was never there. Why is the synergy off? Because they're playing two different ways. One guy is a little bit more flash. The other guy is a little bit more pop. Baker, when the ball comes out of his arm, is a pop to it. There is a zip to it that's different. Why? Because he can really throw that football. Odell is different coming out of his breaks because it's not going to be precise when he comes out of his break, which throws off timing. So that means that little extra spin of the shoulder here is to get the DB to go vertical or to get him to feel out, or not an out, or possibly a corner route. But he really wants this dig. That's how Odell runs routes. Yeah. Here's the criticism of both of them, though. Baker needs to understand how to use receivers like that, because precise route running is not a thing in today's NFL. Whether you believe it or not, there's maybe 10 receivers that run precise routes. And majority of those guys went to LSU or Alabama. That pivot step that we talk about, that Jarvis does, Odell Landry does that better than both of them. Yeah. Jamar Chase will pivot out of something and just put him up like this. And when he does it, what are you going to do? Jump on him? It's nothing you can do. You can't stop him. I told y'all already. So again, we're going to wrap today. At the end of the day, the Browns needed to get rid of Odell. Baker needs this fresh start. Yep. He needs precise route runners who can get open, or guys that win in the telephone booth. The rest of it will be created for tight ends and for running backs off of screens, and the rest will be created off of their running game. So everything else doesn't mean anything. Donovan Peoples-Jones, this is your coming out part. You need to be the X receiver moving forward. If he's not the starter, then I got question for Kevin Stefanski, because there's no other player that should be in this situation. Schwartz should be the guy that you use in the flanker situation, and Jarvis should work the middle all day. This should be very simple. If we don't simplify it after this week, I want the coach fired. And not only do I want the coach fired, I want to interview the owners to see if they really are comparable for football. It's really that simple. I'm over all of the hoopla. You have one of the top 3 offensive line units in the NFL, and we're still not running the ball like we should be. Kareem Hunt, Dearness Johnson, and damn Nick Chubb with Raymond, with Jerome Felton, whatever his name is. That's 4 running backs. How many teams have 4 running backs, bro? How many? Maybe 3 or 4. Bro, run the ball. Let's go. I just seen the most filthy cutback run for a touchdown in the Steelers game, and I ain't see him for the rest of the game. What are we doing?
It's going to be a tough one. Let me follow this up.
Let me just tell you one more thing.
Go ahead.
Browns. If you lose today, it better be because Odell Landry gave y'all that work. Because I'm telling y'all now, Denzel Ward ain't it in Cleveland. And back to my mimosa. Thank you. This has been thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate you guys.
All right, so it's a reason why I followed that, because that was doctorate level talk of football. It was. And I actually even put in the comments myself. I jumped in the comments because I was a fan for a second. And I said, Mimosa Germ is goated. I said that. So let me go ahead and give an analogy that I'm pretty sure everybody could possibly relate to, especially for my people who are good at sales from a work standpoint. Odell Beckham is an entrepreneur, and the Cleveland Browns, including Baker Mayfield, is Primerica. So let me break it down. And if you don't understand Primerica,
you got to put it in gun titles.
Hold on. Replace Primerica with Mary Kay. You can replace it with Mona V. You can replace it to any B2B, M2M type of setup for business that you want. You have this guy in Odell Beckham who is just natural at his position. Natural. But you put him in an organization in which this organization has made millions and millions of dollars doing things a certain way, in which they're asking him to do what he does in a specific way that is taking away the art of what he's good at. That's why it's not a fit. If you are an entrepreneur, you probably shouldn't do a B2B. You should just go ahead and go through the stress, grind, be your own boss, go through the hard knocks that you're going through, and that's what it is. If you are really good and you're really savvy at being able to take information in and be able to execute a strategy, then a B2B or M2M is great for you. That's the reason why they will never click. Odell Beckham needs to go to a place in which he has Randy Moss-like authority. Just give me this side and just read what I'm doing. And I need a quarterback good enough to read what I'm doing and throw it.
There's not many.
Now, is he good enough to be able to win a championship that way? Probably not, because the wide receiver position, as we know, is a very expendable position. But his talent level requires that. With the Browns, you look at the Browns. I got 2 tight ends. I got 4 running backs and 2 tight ends that I could give this ball to. And this system alone is going to win whether you with us or not. Whether I join a B2B, they're going to make millions with or without me. They are. But will they take care of my talent? Probably not. And that's what we just dealt with. It has nothing to do with anything other than that. You have a specific talent that needs to be nurtured in a different way. And with that talent that needs to be nurtured in a different way, you can't put that talent in a situation in which the system is already predetermined that has proven to be successful. You can't put him in that. That's the disconnect. It's not Baker's fault. It's not Odell's fault. Odell just needs to be in his situation. Baker needs to stay in his situation. Baker is going to make millions of dollars in Primerica. Odell Beckham is probably going to make $100,000 in Primerica. But if he started his own business, he will make $1 million. My entrepreneurs will get that. If you don't get it, it's okay. With all that being said,
I like
I'm going
that
to go ahead
breakdown.
and pick the Browns. And I'm not picking the Browns because I think they're the better team. I just think that what happened with Cincinnati, it shows that they're lacking football maturity right now.
Amen.
And when you're playing against the AFC North Conference, you cannot give away games like that.
No.
Everything is 60-minute football from this point on. So even if you get up for this game, Cleveland still has enough to be able to control the clock, to be able to make it muddy. And even if Jamar Chase has a great game, it won't be enough to win if Cleveland do what they're supposed to do, and I think they will. Give me Cleveland. Mo, it's on you. Or Vic, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, the guys covered it pretty well. In terms of the Odell Baker, real quick, I mean, there's just the connection was just not there. There's times where Odell wants to run his own routes. There's times where Baker is not seeing what Odell is seeing. For example, the Vikings game, according to the sources close to them, and what Baker actually said after the game was that, if he saw a certain spacing between the cornerback and the safety, he was going to throw it back shoulder. If Odell saw something where the safety wasn't close enough, he was going to run upfield and expect it over his inside shoulder. But Baker threw it to the outside. So, again, there's a difference between inaccuracies and ball placement. Okay, there's a big difference between that some people don't understand. And it wasn't that Baker was necessarily inaccurate in that play. His placement and what he was reading, as opposed to what Odell was reading, was just a lot different. So they had a lot of situations like that. Yes, Baker deserves just as much flack as Odell does. He was missing him. He was even at times even ignoring him. Even when Odell, like Jeremy alluded to, would find gaps in coverages, he would sit there, and he isn't consistent on that. But he would sit there and find some spots, and Baker was ignoring him. It just goes to show you that even though they were friends off the field, they just couldn't connect on the field. So, the rest of this is all film. If we could get some film out and kind of explain it, because I'm better with visuals than words. I'd rather see the proof. Okay, that this is a case of that. So, as far as the Bengals, they lost 3 games this season, all 3 of them by a field goal. Okay, and like MJ alluded to, Jeremy alluded to, Mo, football maturity, learning how to close games, learning how to make stops or make plays in certain situations is still something that this team is growing upon. And when they get to that level, it's going to be fun to watch, because as we see in those 5 wins, they've been pretty dominant in their 5 wins. And like I said, 3 losses on just field goals. It shows a team that's ready to break out. So with all all that being said, I think I'm taking the Bengals today. I don't think the Browns have enough in the secondary to cover. The Bengals offensive line has been playing much better in comparison to, Jeremy and I talked about Jonah Williams and Isaiah Wynn being too small for the left tackle position. But right now, Jonah is playing slightly better. So he is helping in the protection for Burrow. And I think that both these teams should try to run the football to try to expand from there what they're going to do offensively. I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I think the Bengals are able to pull this one off.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, Vic.
I'm taking the Bengals too, by the way, today, y'all. Go ahead.
It's just like, it seems like Cleveland is in a bit of a dysfunction at the moment. I think anytime something like this happens, there has to be some sort of lack of, I guess, focus maybe in the locker room. Right. Where on the flip side, I think Cincinnati is coming into this game very focused. I do think Baker will play better today. I do think the Browns offense as a whole will look better today, because we've seen it. We've seen it on film. We've seen enough evidence to show that the Browns are better without Odell and Odell is better without the Browns. It's not a knock on anybody. It just is what it is from a football perspective. But Cincy, to me, is after that game last week, I think they are going to come in very focused, very determined, motivated. I think they're going to come off strong out the gate. And I just think in the end, I think they'll just put up a little bit more points than the Cleveland Browns. So give me Cincinnati 31-27. Go ahead, MJ.
You remember when Terrell Owens went to the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
That's Odell at the Browns.
I mean, that's pretty accurate. That, although T.O. did get him to what 7-0 or 5-0 or 6-0, whatever there was, but it's a very similar dynamic.
Yeah, but we all knew that the Cowboys was not using T.O. to his fullest potential. And we all knew Bill Parcells was pro-team guy to where he wanted to prove a point, sometimes over the top, by not even looking at T.O.'s direction. We knew all of this. And they still won, though, and they still made the playoffs. But we knew it just wasn't the fit that needed to be because you wouldn't use a T.O. for all of the things that he could be. That's it.
The only difference is this did also tier receivers. T.O. is a guy who can go to any team and be successful. Odell is not. And it's not because of Odell being a bad player. It's just every quarterback is not intellectually
ready,
savvy to understand timing, understanding placement of the ball.
But he struggles with that too. He struggles with timing as well, and when to, like you talked about, when to sit in certain gaps. Instead of if the comeback is 15 to 17 yards, why are you taking extra steps at 18, 19 yards, then coming back? The ball is short. It looks bad on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So that, and then the other thing too is, Vic, we talk about this all the time. His gears, he doesn't know how to be in first, second, and third gear. He only knows fourth and fifth gear, and that doesn't help him.
Yeah.
So as we go to the next game, I just want to make sure we clear on certain things. Like, y'all gotta understand that, like, the nuances of certain things is what makes this such a very, very intellectual game sometimes, because that's why it doesn't work. Vic will tell you, I criticize Baker a lot about ball placement sometimes, because it's like, you got to put the ball on him here because you got to understand his leverage. But then again, we're still talking about a quarterback in his fourth year, third year. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And you don't get guys that come in like Mac Jones.
Yeah, real quick for us, because we got to move on. Stefanski has a lot to blame for this, because when Landry was hurt, there was games, MJ, where I would see Odell get more snaps tighter to the formation in the slot, and all of a sudden he has 5 or 6 catches. But then when he's outside the numbers, 2 or 3 catches. So moving the receivers around, and there's stats showing that when he had Thielen, when he had those guys I posted on the Views group, their numbers took a dip when he was the head coach or the offensive coordinator. So a lot of
it's the West Coast
many factors.
Big, you know what I think it is, and I hate to say this, and Mo, this is something else we'll study this week if we get a chance. I think it's that West Coast based offense that they play. I think the deep overs, yes, I think the deep overs and all these other things that they like are for less talented players. It's for the running game to set up again the pass, and this is a different form of a West Coast. So this is why Cleveland doesn't run the ball until third, fourth quarter when they're ahead, because the West Coast system is pass to get ahead and then run to close.
It's stupid.
See, so again, this is lab work here that you don't get this everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledge us. I'm gonna get a shirt to say acknowledge us. I'm just saying, man, this is live on the scene. You pull up, I mean, this ain't no E. To
your point, I do think Baker is the type of quarterback that under the right coaching could thrive in an EP type system where it's just quick releases and being on the same page with his receivers, like Jarvis Landry, for example, Harrison Bryant, another one like that could just thrive. And then
intellectually,
right. Intellectually, and also you got a quarterback who seems like more bad things happen the more he holds on to the football, which is most quarterbacks.
The more he has to think.
Right, exactly. So here's what we're going to do. We got 9 games left, and we got about a half hour before kickoff. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the 3 remaining games that are worth talking about, and then we're going to do 9 rapid fires after that. So let's jump ahead. You got Green Bay versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Jerm, you're going to go back-to-back rounds here. Jordan Love is getting the start indeed in this game. Over-under is 48. The Packers are 7-point underdogs in this football game. There is a lot to talk about in this one, okay? I think when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, you're looking at a team who just needs to evolve. What they've been doing is no longer going to keep working. And the bottom line to me, all the flaws, when we got killed, I mean, it is what it is. When you ahead of your time, it's hard for people to understand you. When we got killed for the flaws that we pointed out with Patrick Mahomes, for the things that we said in a couple years is just not going to fly. Here we are. The things that he was getting away with, he's no longer getting away with. The crazy throws that was finding Chiefs' hands is no longer finding Chiefs' hands. So there is all self-inflicted wounds for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it falls directly on the head coach. I love Andy Reid, but we talked about this. Sustaining success for 10, 15 years is a little different. You got to be different as a head coach. You got to be able to evolve. That's why only Bill Belichick and Chuck Noll and few and far between have been able to sustain success for a decade plus. So Andy's got to evolve here. His quarterback has got to evolve. His quarterback's got to grow. There's guys running open. There's guys that are open. He's just not doing the fundamental things like staying in the pocket. He is so quick to abandon the pocket, and it is hurting his team every single week. Matter of fact, I will go so far as to say, because we getting a little film now all of a sudden, we started to understand how to get the film a little bit. Shout out to undisclosed locations. But I think number one thing is it is hurting his team on every series. And I could show it if anybody needs to be shown. He is abandoning the pocket way too quickly. And then he's also still doing that retrieving stuff. Like he's going back.
It's a drifting motion. Like he's drifting to the left. So he'll drift to the right. And he's doing this thing where he's drifting to the right. And he's just drifting to the right. And then it's the sidearm. See, look. Y'all know this right here. This is the New Jersey twerk. Because I'm strapped in. It's getting ready to get Big Blue status up in here. Oh, it's on now. So look. First of all, Mo, beautiful segue to get right into it. Yeah, the drifting to the right. Bro, we're drifting to the right because that's where he's comfortable throwing from a platform. That's where he's made his money. His entire career as a quarterback is drifting. If you remember at Texas Tech, oh yeah, I went back to Texas Tech because I really studied this dude. Texas Tech, we talking a Nomar Garcia-Parra type motion from shortstop. Yeah, crossover. I'm strapped in. We talking a crossover where we're talking a shortstop type throw of trying to get the ball out from drifting to his right. So in a lot of different ways, when he catches the ball, it's just like when a shortstop fields and they get into a nice a running motion going to one direction toward where the first base bag is, and then they make a throw. Why is that? Because that's where they're getting their power to make the throw. So if that's where we're generating the power, that's why we notice a lot of those times when Pat is making those throws, they can be a little bit too hot to handle. And then what are they going? They're going to receivers with hands outstretched. So then you get a ricochet, shout out to WWE, and then we get interceptions. So if this is where we're getting,
hold on, what position?
I'm strapped in. Let's go.
Hold up, Mimosa. What position did Pat play again in baseball?
Shortstop.
Interesting. And when you're making those spectacular plays, what do the first baseman usually do to still get the out? They gotta it's usually not pocket, right?
Reach. They gotta reach around and find the ball. Reach around and find. You see how?
But because the ball is like a little bit smaller and they got a glove that they can be able to catch, they can be able to do different things, and the radius is a little bit different, right?
But see that's the thing. That's why you got 6'3" first baseman and 6'3" receivers, opposed to hey Vic, check this out. This Vic's second sport. How many first basemen are at least 6'2"? Interesting thing right there. So then we got receivers that are 5'10" that are getting the ball thrown at them at 100 miles an hour coming from a quarterback that's drifting to his right and in a situation with outstretched hands, and we get ricochets. So that's how we get 6 of these 10 interceptions. I mean, y'all said y'all wanted the game, so I'm giving it to you. Listen, I'm trying to give it to you for free 99, but at the end of the day, I see I'm gonna start having to charge because it's different over here. This bag is different. So now let's talk about Jordan Love, because we scouted this player as well. And this is a player that I hold close to my heart, because the closer I get to him and seeing him start, the closer I get to being satisfied with what we're going to see out of this LaFleur offense, because now we're going to start seeing some things challenged vertically up the seam. I don't care about interceptions today. I care about him challenging the Chiefs defense up the seams and putting pressure on Tyrann Mathieu to make plays. And now that's where this becomes, we're going to see the Packers offense what it should be moving forward. I don't care about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams may not be a part of the Packers' future plans, considering what he does for Aaron Rodgers. Equanimous St. Brown, I want to see him today. I want to see Rizard today. I want to see Randall Cobb today. I want to see those guys, because that is the future of this Packers offense. Challenge the ball up the seam, because that's where all teams in a zone and a matchup zone culture, this is where you have to attack them. Attack them in the seams, because you're making players have to do what? Be in their spots. Football and zone maturity says, football and zone maturity 101. Be in the spot you're supposed to be in and stop trying to be a superhero. Yeah. Too bad we got a lot of teams that have young defenses that are trying to make a lot of plays. So now we have a situation on hand here where if Jordan just does and takes what they have, this should be an explosive game, where Pat Mahomes is who Jordan Love was compared to. But that was a terrible comparison, because they're trying to compare Michael Jordan here to a guy who is not even of Michael Jordan's caliber. He doesn't have the same talent as Pat Mahomes. He has his own unique talent. And we got to stop comparing these players like that. Stop doing that. Jordan Love is a player who will thrive with Matt LaFleur, because Matt LaFleur will give him all the things he needs. He's going to run the ball. That protects your quarterback. Why does it protect your quarterback? Because now you're able to get yourself in a 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. That extends your playbook. The further out you are from the first down, the more limited your pass concepts become. That's why you notice teams drop back into those nickel and dime defenses where they'll play quarters coverage, or they'll play they'll play like a cover 2 defense where they'll play everybody at the sticks, because the goal is to make them have to make a precise pass over in stretched arms. What are we trying to do? Ricochet. We want to bat the ball, get the ball in the air. We want to make things happen. Again, this game should be good. We don't need Aaron Rodgers for it to be good. We just need Jordan Love to press the ball down the field. I am going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs today, because this is Jordan Love's first start. But believe me, Mo, I wanted to pick the Packers still, because I think that they have enough offensively to make the Chiefs have to play defense. And that's the key. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon are very tough runners. And we're not talking about the fact that you're going to have to see A.J. Dillon for at least 20 carries today, potentially. Because if it's one of those type of games, it fares better for who? The Packers. Give me the Chiefs, though, today.
See, I think you mentioned two very important things. Number one is that run game. Green Bay came out last week and showed you they was going to run the ball, and if they stick to that, they will find great success against this butter run defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. And then number two, and this is where we're going to segue to Vic. Vic, we know what this offense has turned into over the last few years. What nobody has wanted to talk about is perhaps it's turned into that because Aaron Rodgers is getting older and he's no longer capable of making some of the plays and throws that he's capable of making. Perhaps that's why it has evolved into what it's evolved to. So based on the principles of this offense, Jordan Love should have a successful game today. Go ahead, Vic.
No, and you know, I'll take it a little bit further. I just don't think LaFleur trusts Rodgers throwing up the field often. I think that they again, the average depth per target displays that. The throws behind the line of scrimmage displays all of that. I think they think and dunk as much as possible. Hence why you got Adams with so many receptions. And this is not a knock on Devontae Adams. He can run every single route on that route tree, and he can run at every level of the football field. That is an elite receiver. But the way they're being used right now is to protect Aaron Rodgers, and then they'll take their occasional deep shot when somebody is open by like 5 yards, the next defender is like 10 yards behind them or something like that. So I think that, for fantasy purposes, Devontae Adams is still a great play based on the offense right now, how it's constructed. But as Jeremy alluded to, little by little, Jordan Love will show that he is willing to take more shots downfield, more than Aaron Rodgers does, and he will be trusted more in the near future. But right now, Devontae Adams is a great play. But real quick, touching on the Chiefs situation, Mo knows and Jerm knows I love these numbers right now. This extra data, okay? The Chiefs are 12th lowest in the league with 16 sacks. 12th lowest. Follow me? They have given up the 9th lowest with 81 sack yards, meaning 81 sack yards. They've given up. They're the 9th lowest, but they are the second highest in attempts to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's at 341. So 341 dropbacks, Jerm, 16 sacks, 81 yards and sack yards. That goes to show you that there is protection there, but the quarterback is kind of, dancing around a little too much in that pocket. Give me the Packers to win this game. I'm gonna just go with the Packers.
Again, the protection when it breaks down, it's 90% of the time. I'm not joking. Patrick Mahomes' fault. I'm with you, Vic. I'm going with the Packers in this game. MJ?
This is the first time ever in history I had to follow 330s. I've never seen that before in my life. I jumped off the screen and jumped in the comments like I was watching. Like, I'm following 330s right now. There's nothing left to be said.
Yeah,
y'all sold me on it. I'm picking the Packers. Y'all sold me. Y'all won it.
You know what? Give me the Packers. Give me the Packers.
Everybody,
I don't even want the Chiefs.
Right now. We're gonna overvibe right now. With all that y'all said, the Packers. Forget it.
Hey, man. Shout out to Dion Reed with the instrumentals. He on the DJ Dion. He's on point today.
DJ No Slander. DJ No Slander.
Yo, he's killing me in the comments section. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Let's do this, yo. We talked about the most important games in a lot of detail and depth. We got 15 minutes to kick off. Let's just rapid fire through the rest of it. Let's start with the Falcons and the Saints. Over under 42.5 for Falcons. 7-point underdog. As we talked about, the Saints just feel like a team with a little more unity. Just feels like a team that's a little more tight with each other. And now where Jameis Winston is going, I think they're only going to get closer and only going to rally around the culture that Jameis Winston has, credit to me, for started. Again, Drew Brees wasn't the problem. He just wasn't the solution. Give me the Saints. I'm taking the Saints. I'm loving this Saints defense. Give me the Saints by 9. Jerm?
I want to pick the Falcons. And the reason why I want to pick the Falcons, really simply, is because I don't trust the quarterback for the Saints. To be honest with you, the Saints do have enough, though, to make this interesting. I don't know, but I just don't know if the Falcons are going to come out and score points today. So with that being said, give me the Saints, and then we'll go from there. Vic?
I mean, I'm going to go with the Saints as well, despite the quarterback situation. I just think that they'll be able to run the ball against the Falcons and play, enough defense to stop them. I think the Falcons right now are just as dysfunctional. Calvin really, unfortunately, called it a career as of right now. Hopefully he comes back. So again, it's just another situation there with a few other teams that we know about right now that are kind of dysfunctional. So I'll take the Saints in this game.
MJ?
The city of Atlanta is loving the fact that the Braves just won a title, and everybody is affected by that. For that sentimental moment, give me the Falcons.
Okay. I like it. Sports has a funny way of writing a script Hollywood can't even do. Broncos versus the Cowboys. Tyron Smith is out for this game. So is Garrett Bowles on the Denver Broncos side. Over-under is 49.5. The Broncos are 10-point underdogs. This is just one of those games that Dallas should dominate from start to finish. I think they have too much for Denver. I think Denver is not going to be able to keep up. So give me Dallas 27-17, but it's not going to be that close. Vic?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Dallas as well. Like you said, the tackles are both out for this game. Von Miller is also gone from the Broncos. So the pressure that the Broncos will be able to put on the Cowboys despite some injuries on the Cowboys offensive line. It remains to be seen. I think that the offensive line has, they have done a good job not only building the front five, but also providing depth behind those guys. So with Ezekiel Elliott, of course, doing his blocking duties, so all the junk that people want to talk about Zeke, and has he lost this, has he lost that, his value overall as a running back is second to none right now. He's a blocker as well. So I think like Mo said, just the Cowboys are just going to have too much for this football team right now. Give me the Cowboys to win too.
Term?
Really simple, man. Cowboys, Broncos just traded away one of their better players in their history, their franchise.
Yeah.
Safe travels, Von Miller. We'll talk about you another day because I
Yo.
got some things to say about you.
Amen. MJ?
A lot of horsepower in this, but it won't be in Denver.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Them Cowboys, bro. Buffalo.
The Polo Bowl. We'll call this the Polo Bowl. All the horsepower.
Oh, my God. The only team in New York is traveling to Duval County today. The Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Dawson Knox is still out. Bad Breida is also out in this one. And
y'all gonna let that fly?
Yeah, we're just gonna let it roll. Spencer. Hey, speaking geographically, that's shout out to Les Stewart. The Buffalo is the only team in New York. For Duval County, James Robinson. Oh man, James Robinson is out. Trey Herndon, the corner, is out, and Jacob Hollister, the tight end, is out. Over under is 48.5. Buffalo is favored by 14.5 points. I think Buffalo is one of those teams that we really not going to talk about until they play a team that actually matters in a moment that actually matters. Give me 45-7 and 3 interceptions for Trevor Lawrence today. Give me the Bills. Term?
Listen, at the end of the day, man, I think I'm going to get me some buffalo wings after this. And I got some bills in the safe. Let's go.
MJ?
Man, Buffalo, man. I ain't going to even play with you.
Vic?
Yeah, I mean, the Bills right now are rushing the passer at a 33% clip, meaning they get to the quarterback at least 3 or 4 times per 10 plays. So that's good enough to definitely change a football game. The Jacksonville offensive line just has not been great. Trevor Lawrence is too inconsistent in the pocket. I've seen him getting about 5 sacks today. So if you could get the Bills defense on your fantasy squads, you do that, and then they should have a field day offensively as well. So give me the Bills.
I hear you. So next game is the Texans versus the Dolphins. I don't know, man. I hope Red Zone don't even show this game on TV. I got very, very little interest in anything that transpires in this game. But shout out, this might be the Lester Stewart special of the day because Tyrod Taylor and Jacoby Brissett are the starting quarterbacks in this one. I'm actually going to take the Texans, fellas. I know that sounds crazy. I love Miami. I'm actually going to take the Texans. I don't know why. I don't have a logistical, or philosophical reason or any of that. I'm taking the Texans. Tyrod Taylor is a dude that deserves some good karma, despite all the bad that Houston deserves. So give me. No, I'm not doing it. Give me Miami there. Give me Miami. Shout out to Broward. Shout out to Dade. Shout out to Palm Beach. I'm going Miami. MJ?
Hey, man, that man pulled the psych. I lied.
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
He said psych. I lied. Hey, man, look. Hey, if I had to pick this game, if I had to pick between Houston and Miami, I'm going to pick Chicago.
Jared,
that's how I feel about it.
Hey, bro, MJ, have you ever in your life seen a brother drinking a mimosa with the pinky out?
Only Jerv, but he deserves it. With all the stuff he said on this show,
I'll be doing that.
He called this. He Babe Ruth this show. He said, "Yo, this show is gonna be a really, really good show."
Oh my God, bro.
I'm sorry that I didn't know it was going to get to this level. This is this is monumental levels of greatness right now. So, for the sake of the show, because I know we're competing against each other, go ahead and give me Miami for no reason at all. Jordan.
I'm taking Miami because the Texans don't get no play in this ride.
Yeah, I feel you. Vic?
I mean, both teams are 1-7, bro. I'll take Houston just to see if I could gain a game against y'all. I mean, this is two teams that are definitely heading in the wrong direction for various reasons. Again, I'm gonna refer to those 3 first-round picks they have. Tua, Austin Jackson, who we really liked so far, is inconsistent, and in the corner they just not playing well. That's 3 first-round picks, man. You cannot fail in 3 first-round picks, bro.
Bro, they could have had. Imagine them getting Herbert and a couple of other. Man, come on, man.
It's like the Browns.
Man, my fantasy season rely on you right now. Derrick Henry is gone. Myles Gaskin, step up. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Raiders versus Giants, 46.5. The Raiders are only 3-point favorites against the Giants, which tells you that Vegas really knows what they got in their backyard. It's not the most dominant football team there is, but they're going to keep winning games. Somehow, some way, they're just going to keep winning games. But, you know how I feel about this Raiders team. I think there is way too much overhype and overcovering of a team that's just not very good. But they're gonna win this one today because the Giants are a lot not better. So give me the Raiders by 4 points. Term.
Derek Carr, salute to you for the tweet that you made.
Yes.
The Henry Ruggs situation. When I see certain things like that, I see a man that is taking another step in his leadership, taking another step in his maturity in life, and that is going to easily carry over and transpire in football. For that and that reason alone, and all the other BS that the Raiders have went through, I am going with the Raiders, and they're going to make the playoffs this season. They're not going to win, but they're going to make the playoffs this season. Give me the Raiders in this game.
Big.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that they're able to put the distractions to the side and still play some football. I'm interested in this team. You guys know that. I know that there is limitations, and a lot of people are loving them more than they probably deserve right now. But again, rest in peace to that girl that lost her life. And then rest in peace as well to somebody's career. His family is also, his daughter is also going to experience changes. His wife, and of course, like I said, the family of that girl too. So it's sad that these things happen. At least once a year, something crazy happens, man. We got to be better. We got to be better out there. But anyway, Odell Beckham to the Raiders can be something that I think I can see, and hopefully, take that Henry Ruggs role and stuff like that. Hopefully Derek Carr could get him the ball better. The waivers are going to go through on Monday tomorrow to see what team, and the Raiders are one of the teams that are going to be able to afford the $7 million that he will be, accounting for, through this waiver. So, but anyway, I mean, I'll take the Raiders in this game. I think that they've been able to overcome a lot of things so far.
We made a giant announcement that we were going to be sending somebody to Las Vegas. So I'm gonna take the team to where we sending people.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with just touch on the Henry Ruggs situation real quick. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it or not. Vic, I think summed it up perfectly. It's a wise man once said, "Don't ever judge a man's shoes that you can't fit in." Yeah, he made a very stupid mistake. And that stupid mistake, unfortunately, led to the tragic loss of a young lady. We praying to all the people affected.
Yeah.
Because it's a situation that's hard to fathom, hard to wrap your fingers around. I think we live in a world where we're so quick to judge, where we're so quick to persecute people instead of just loving and being non-judgmental. I saw a quote that said the key to a happy life is to love without boundaries. So shout out to Derek Carr's tweet. And we're just gonna pray for all those affected by that.
Hence the reason why I said what I said about A-Rod earlier. I had nothing to do with what he did. It had all to do with how it was portrayed.
Exactly.
And also, let's just be real, and I'm gonna get this to Vic. We all 10 seconds away from doing some real fucked up shit that can
Hell
fuck
yes.
Hell
yes.
And me being with all of the wisdom that I have, about to approach the tender age of what I'm about to approach, I am still 10 seconds away from making an emotional decision that can now affect my life but fuck up somebody else's.
Yeah.
That is the definition of human.
Hell yes.
Yeah, and I mean, people went to his Instagram immediately and started blasting him on his pictures. pictures with his car, pictures of the last game. He was holding his jersey like this and said, "See y'all next week." And of course, people just went off on the comments section of those pictures talking about you're definitely not going to be there next week and you're going to jail. Like, come on, man. Like, find something better to do, because like MJ just alluded to, you could step outside and make a mistake, or you will be somebody's mistake as well. So, there's too much to do to be like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just we're gonna shout out Hove real quick, because when MJ was talking there, it reminded me of a quote he said. He says, "You could be a hairpin off and trigger your roots."
Yep.
We are not perfect people. So, Jeremy, anything you want to talk about before we talk about these last couple of games and get out of here?
All I'm gonna say is, y'all need to stop acting. So, for all the people out there who feel like they're so inhumane, you're still human.
Yeah.
So
bro.
stop trying to act like you make the perfect decisions and you're perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing that I need everybody to stop doing is, again, we're going to acknowledge one key factor about life. We never know where our life is going to go.
Amen.
We never know what's going to happen.
Amen.
We all try to live as close to perfect as we can, but we can't.
Nope.
It's impossible.
How many times something has happened to us where we were like, damn, that was close. Oh, damn, I almost hit that car. God is saving you. God is out there saving you. And some people don't get as lucky.
Let me tell you something. You know what? We're not gonna get into this, because there's something happened to me earlier this week, as a matter of fact, and I'm like, yo,
we got 1 minute literally.
But listen, let's go through
God is watching.
Chargers versus Eagles. I think this game is gonna be much better than people expect it to be. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Vic,
I'll go with the Chargers, but I think it'll be a nice fight too.
MJ,
I'm going with the Chargers, but I don't like that pick at all. Chargers not look good these last couple of weeks, even in the one that they won. I don't know what's going on over there. They got to get back on it.
AZ, Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. Over-under is 45. Kyler Murray is a true game-time decision. Matter of fact, the show is he is not expected to play, and I think DeAndre's status is up in the
Hopkins.
And AJ Green, I believe, is inactive. So I'm actually, because of all these things, I'm actually gonna go with San Francisco today. Vic?
Yeah, I think I'm on the same path too, Mo. I think their injuries look like they're pretty significant to the point where they have to make game time decisions. So and they're leaning to out. So definitely 49ers have a chance to win this game.
MJ?
Without the Roadrunner being able to be the Roadrunner, it's just really tough to be able to pick it. And it's a conference game. This is a trap game. With that being said, I think they have the football maturity, so I'm going to go Cardinals anyway. But
okay. Interesting. Germ?
49ers.
Last game, we got the Tennessee Titans versus the Los Angeles Rams. Von Miller is not expected to play tonight. Derrick Henry obviously is not playing. Me and Vic call Derrick Henry the most valuable non-QB in the league. And if they win tonight, Germ, we will give up and you shall win that argument. But give me the Rams by about 13 points tonight. Germ?
Acknowledge me. Give me the Tennessee Titans.
What?
Tennessee Titans. I'm gonna tell you why.
They got
two things. It's one thing. No, it ain't even that. The Rams do one thing that really makes them a very, very interesting team. They do not stop the run.
Okay.
This team can really run the rock. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's going to be interesting to see who they use at running back. Again, AP was signed over there. They are a team that believes in one running back carrying basically the whole, getting the whole opportunities. So again, this is a judgment game to see who they're going to use the most, in the future, fantasy purpose wise, and of course for them, because Derrick is going to be out for a long time. So, but I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going with the Rams, but I did pick up AP in my fantasy because he had to replace Derrick. So of course I'm going for that. So get in the end zone a couple times for me, AP. I need this. But give me the Rams.
That about wraps up our show, man. We appreciate everybody who tuned in. We love y'all. We appreciate everybody who was in the comments and supported. Enjoy the games. Follow us on the thread. Enjoy the games with us. We're on the Instagram, the.scene, on Twitter, scene_the. You have better be subscribed to the YouTube channel by now. Spread the word. We got more coming, more content coming. We get a little access to the film now. So business is about to pick up. JR, take us home, True.
You too. Enjoy the game.